everybody's making it so easy for me because I'm okay. Let me do this little download first. I am so impressed and amazed at this day because you guys don't all know this, but Jeannie, our love, our guiding force, our visionary for this whole beautiful green beauty community, she just like knew like who to invite and how to put it all together. It has been so magical because my jaw's dropped right now because every single person that has spoken today, none of us knew what we were talking about. Like when she asked us, we probably like wrote something down like, oh, this is probably what we're going to talk about, but it wasn't outlined or talked, discussed or whatever. And so here you have, Goddess Jeannie at the helm. And it wasn't, and she's not like this control sort of person like, Joanne, you're going to talk about this. Sarah, you're going to talk about that. Josh is talking about that. It wasn't even like that at all. We just had like a few little lovely email exchanges from that Laurel sparked, my dear little Laurel, sweet, sweet, sweet Laurel. That was like so vulnerable and just so beautiful on kind of the courage to speak and we didn't even talk about what we were going to speak about. Okay, back to the jaw drop. I'm just reflecting on like what a tapestry of amazingness and the reflection. It's an illusion, guys. We are all one. My story is your story, and your story is my story. It's like we think we're separate, and it's what's so amazing that Jeannie has created here is that we get to have these moments where we can take time for self-care and step away from the computer and the mirror and whatever else we've got going on and just take some time and bask in this oneness that we all are. And so it's just like, this is juice for the soul today. I mean, I didn't have any of that elixir because I was like, I don't know what, I mean, I don't, I'm like, but I might have a cocktail later on. That's like my as my sister calls my 20%, like you try to do the 80 rule over here. And then, because I've been torturing myself for 6 weeks over this thing. My husband will attest to that. There's been moments where he's like, Joanne, you're working yourself into a lather. No pun intended, coming from a man that manufactures shampoo, right? Oh my goodness. So none of that was anything that I wanted to say, but it felt so important and just so present in the moment because I've just so enjoyed. Oh, another thought, Jeannie. How about like a weekend retreat? Like you're just trying to do this one day thing and tease us all. And like, I've got my notes later on. We're having dinner tonight. And so I'm going to be like, oh yeah, Jeannie. No, but not, I mean, she's a visionary. She's going to, whatever she creates, I will be there. Bells on for sure. And by the way, Jeannie, thank you so much for including me in this magic. It's such a blessing and an honor to know all of you guys and to be here and to experience this and to be so excited that so many people show up when we're talking about products and we're not even talking about products. And I love that. We were having a conversation about that. So you guys are probably all wondering what I'm going to talk about. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. I don't really even need to say anything because everything everybody already said is what I'm going to say. So So I think I'll go now. Is that okay? All right, I'll stay. So really what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is really loving yourself and loving your hair. Right? It's kind of just that easy. I wanted to share with you my own very, very personal journey to inner beauty. So I was born to be in beauty, for sure. I can get together with my girlfriends on a regular basis, and these are friends that I've had since elementary school, and they will just tease me and laugh about how I ushered them all over to the playground bench and wanted to braid their hair. I was just right in there, right? And it didn't stop at people. I begged my parents for a rabbit so that I could join 4-H. Please, Mom, please, Dad, get me a rabbit. Well, they did. Oh, Duchess, you are such a beautiful little rabbit. I love combing your hair. I just know that we're going to win the blue ribbon at 4-H. Probably one of my fondest memories was getting out of the bathtub, walking over to the fireplace, sitting down in front of the fire, and my mom combing my hair, right? She'd use that product, Johnson & Johnson's No More Tears. Oh, yeah. I could just feel the warmth of the fire right now on my face. Well, my mom had her own beauty ritual. She'd be sitting there near me on the couch, her basket of pink plastic rollers, rolling up her hair. She'd have her rollers in. Then she'd take the shower cap, the hood dryer kind of shower cap thing with the hose, and turn it on. I could hear the hum of the dryer right now. And I would look up at my mom just in awe of the poof. You know, what I realize is I feel so connected to people through beauty, through hair, and through the rituals and ceremonies that surround it. When you think about it, we all have hair stories. And so what I would love, if you guys will just play with me for a minute, I'd love you guys to just sit back for a second, maybe uncross your legs if you might. And just go ahead and take a deep breath in. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. I won't ask you to close them for a long time. Don't worry, I won't try to do your hair while your eyes are closed. Taking a nice deep breath in and just relax into your chair for a second. When was the last time you loved your hair? Bring that moment to present. Feel into it. Might be a specific style or a time or a moment. And what exactly was it that you loved about your hair? And just bring and feel that in. Bring that into every cell of your body. And taking another nice deep breath in. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And I would love to hear from a few of you, if you're not feeling so shy, to tell me what you loved about your hair or what came to you. Yeah.
I found a Burning Man and like the hiatus that has like some magic quality. It makes your hair look so good.
Sounds like a product coming on. I love that one. Sweet. I haven't been to Burning Man. I'd love to check that out. Anybody else? Yeah.
The day I found out that I had naturally curly hair. I never got another perm since then.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay.
So, when I go to Cape Cod every summer, and I go swim in the ocean, and then the pond, which is fresh water, and then let it air dry. That's my perfect fantasy hair.
Pond water sounds like another. Oh, yeah,
Water,
yeah.
yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm curious, how many of you something that maybe it was difficult to think about something that you loved about your hair? How many of you something came up that you didn't really like about your hair in the first moment? Yeah, 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 thank you. Because I'm here to tell you right now, and there might be more of you, that is totally typical. Totally typical. I think sometimes it's a challenge. And I know even for myself as a stylist, having women come in and sit in my chair, and I think they have this grand, glorious mane because all hair is fabulous to me. And they wanted to tell me all the things they didn't like about their hair. Well, here's what I know about hair. I think hair is magical. I think it is the most grand, glorious sensory guidance system that we have on our body. If you think about it, it's like antennae. It's in our auric field. It's in our crown chakra. It connects us to the world around us. It's a living, breathing thing. It's like a plant or a tree. What I know about hair has been part of my long spiritual journey. And in my experience, creating ritual and ceremony around hair has been so empowering for myself and for the women that I serve. And I've tapped into cutting hair in a specific way in accordance to sacred geometry, which connects us to the world around us. And it's through the partings that I use and through the way in which I hold the hair. And it actually taps into the meridians in the scalp, which in turn taps into the meridians in the body. When I think about a haircut, I think about it being like a whole auric cleansing our auric field and tapping into our chakras. Like I said, what I know about hair has been part of my long spiritual journey. And what really deepened me on that path was the birth and the diagnosis of my daughter, Morgan. My identity totally shifted at that point. So here I am, a successful stylist, huge clientele, traveling the countryside, educating other stylists. I really hung my laurels on everything that I was doing at the time. I met and married the love of my life. He was also in the beauty industry. We had this beautiful baby girl, Morgan, and I thought my world was perfect. I was just in this fairy tale fantasy. And then all of a sudden, my bubble burst. This obviously put us into a total identity shift. It's like, who were we? What were we doing? I had to scrutinize everything I was doing now. I felt guilt. I felt shame. Was it something that I did? Was it something that I ate? Was it the chemicals I was exposed to in the salon? And so I did everything that I could do just to kind of bolster myself and my life. And I started buying organic food, started really getting into health, started reading labels. As you can well imagine, Greg was going into his own mental and emotional calisthenics over the whole situation. Together we were. And so this really put us in a situation where we wanted our personal and our career paths to align. We really wanted a more holistic lifestyle. And so basically Innersense was born. Greg went on his way to research ingredients. He connected with all the people that he knew. He just dove deep into ingredients and realized that it was not just the ingredients, but it was how they were procured and how they were processed. I started reading labels and realizing that how was I going to go back into the salon? And so obviously that this was the answer. Basically, Morgan obviously is the complete and utter inspiration for Innersense. And not only is she the inspiration for Innersense, but she is the epitome of Innersense. This girl, she's a woman now. She's 22 years old. She is tuned in, tapped on, and just excited for life. I have never met somebody that's just so present with her own reality and what her needs are. Talk about self-care. The girl knows self-care. She's teaching me things. I can remember a time when Morgan was little and she loved Barney. She loved Barney videos. It was one morning after a Barney video, she's like, "Mom, we're going to a Barney concert." I'm thinking to myself, does Barney even give concerts? That afternoon, the phone rings. It's my girlfriend, Susan, and she's like, "Joanne, I have 2 tickets to Barney, and I thought maybe you and Morgan might like to go." I was like, whoa. Well, this girl is doing it to this day. She is a major manifester. Just only a couple months ago, Morgan's saying to me, "Mom, I cannot wait until we go to Disneyland. I just want to ride the California Screamin' roller coaster. I am just so excited." I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? I didn't have a plan to go to Disneyland. Sure enough, a couple days later, in my inbox is an email from my best friend Gina, who works for Disney. She says, "Joanne, I got my allotment, my employee allotment of tickets. I want you and Morgan to have 2. Greg caught wind of it. He says, I have 2 free nights on hotels.com. I'm going to book you at the Disneyland Hotel." And then off we went. I was like, okay. Morgan is amazing at giving and receiving compliments. She just sees the beauty in the world. It's so inspiring. She's got this big, brown, beautiful, curly hair, and people often come up to her and say, "Morgan, I just love your curly hair." And she says, "I know. Isn't it great?" Well, obviously, it hasn't been all a bed of roses raising Morgan and being Morgan's mom. There's been a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. And long story short, she's felt a lot of rejection in her life, a lot of just not being included. I mean, I can go on and sob and cry many, many times in my life where she's just felt completely disconnected from people. There's often times when, a peer just totally disses her, or something horrible happens on social media or something like that, and she'll just be sobbing to me. She'll come to me and she's like, "Mom, they just don't really see who I truly am." It breaks my heart. And it makes me think about a story when I was a kid, coming home from school, 6 or 7 years old, coming to my mom. I'm not even sure the circumstance, but what my mom said to me is, "Joanne, not everybody's going to like you." Well, I was a little girl. I was like, it burst my bubble. I was like, not because of my ego or anything like that. I was just like, I like everybody. Doesn't everybody like me? Aren't we all working on the golden rule here? What I really wish my mom would have said to me was, "Joanne, not everybody's going to like you, but the most important thing is that you like and love yourself." And that's basically what informs my company and all of Innersense. So when I think about a customer shampooing their hair, I want them to feel the love and the intention that I have put into what goes behind my products. When there is a stylist in the salon and they're working on their beautiful, wonderful beauty guest, I want them to feel confident that they are providing a non-toxic environment. And as a matter of fact, I brought you guys all a sweet spirit today. So this is my updated version of what my mom used on me so long ago, the Johnson & Johnson No More Tears. This is my lightweight leave-in conditioner. I love it because it's got aloe and eucalyptus and lavender. And the name is Sweet Spirit, and I want you guys to all know that you're a sweet spirit. So that's there for you. And then also I put in my little inner flexion, and these are so small, and I'm going to be updating them. I have to put my glasses on to read mine. This, you all get one, and I want you guys to all know that this is your own personal little love note to yourself from your higher self. So know that you got the right and perfect one. And guess what mine says? I love my body and my body loves me. Yes, it does. I was just in New York and at a green beauty event, and there was a woman that came up to me and she said, Joanne, I just love the inner flexions and the messaging that you put back on the back of the bottle. We just recently sent out for feedback. We immediately got over 30 5-star reviews. There was one woman that was in her 50s, and she said her hair feels more hydrated and more youthful than it ever has before. And there was one salon owner that is highly sensitive to ingredients and chemicals and things like that. And she told me, Joanne, after a year of using your products, I no longer contend with contact dermatitis. Yeah. So I hope today that I've inspired you to love yourself and your hair just a little bit more. And what I really want to leave you with is true beauty is how you see the world, not how the world sees you. And the most important thing is how you see and how you love yourself. Thank you.